I want you to take 10 seconds and do something here with me right now. I want you to take your sleeve, turn it inside out, and look at the threads that you see there. A human touched that individual thread in order to sew that shirt. So I think that I always pictured that clothes were made in a factory where there's a big pile of garments and they go through some machine and it spits t-shirts in every different size. That's not actually true. That was new information to me. And what's embarrassing about that is that I've actually been running a fashion company for now 2.5 years, and I didn't know where the clothes that I was selling were coming from. Once we actually asked that question, a lot of things started having to change. What we found is that fast fashion is a shift that's happened really in the past 10 years or so in the fashion industry that's completely changed the way we as consumers relate to clothes and the way that companies sell clothes. It's all about high quantity and low quality clothing, almost like disposable clothing. This is horrible for humans on the other side of the earth, because if you're buying t-shirts for $3 or $4 that are disposable, there's not a lot of margin in that to pay workers. So it's forced the entire industry to go more towards third world countries and towards unsafe work environments for those people. Second is it's absolutely horrible for the environment. There's a report that recently came out that the clothing industry is the #2 most polluting industry on earth next to the oil industry. So what's the solution? Most people right now, the solution is buy clothes that aren't in that fast fashion system. Try to buy clothes that are either fair trade or ethically made or made in the US, which I think, yes, that is part of the solution. But that can't be all of the solution, because realistically we can't actually afford that, or many of us can't afford to buy fair trade for everything or made in the US for everything, because it's actually just, it's too expensive for us with our current consumption habits. The way to address consumerism is not just to buy different stuff. It actually means we need to change the way we consume. In screenwriting, there's a term called a beat. You ever seen that? Maybe when you're reading a screenplay, it says in parentheses, in lowercase, beat. And at that point, what happens is that the character is going down one path and they stop and they kind of back up and then they head down a different path. And that's what we need when it comes to consumerism. What we need is we need to pause and reverse our direction. The fast fashion industry is based on us being reactive to discounts, promotions, and advertising, right? Marketers want us to put blinders over our eyes and say, wow, it's so cheap, it's so on sale, it's so available that I have to buy it. And that trend, we need to stop that, we need to reverse and actually become very intentional and picky. And then finally, where we need to have a beat, where we need to have a pause and a reversal, is in the actual act of buying clothes. So when you're at the mall or when you're at a shop and you're looking at buying something, you need to stop. And we need to take a breath and take out the sleeve and turn it inside out and look at that thread. And begin to ask the question, who did make this? What cost went into this? That's where the entire industry can change. And if we can actually learn to stop and slow that down, not only will the industry change, but we'll actually change the world.